But there still are two other Kenyans in this race that could give him a good race here.
Ezekiel Sepping of South Africa, silver medalist at the Olympics, is right next to Kipketer.
Tom, this man has great closing speed. Tom, this man has great closing speed, Sepping does. In the 96 Olympic Games, he came from 7th to 2nd to grab the silver medal. So as the race unfolds, he'll be a danger as they get close to the line.
And speaking of dangerous, this youngster, Japhet Kimutai of Kenya.
He's dangerous because he's so young. He's 20 years old, and for the last 2 years, he's run under 143. You just don't know how much better he can get, and this may be the place he decides to have a breakthrough race.
Americans Rich Kana and Brian Woodward were eliminated in the semifinals. And here are the competitors in the 800 meters. With Sepping in lane 4, Kipketer lane 5, Kimutai is in lane 6.
And I talked to Wilson Kipketer after his semifinal a couple of nights ago and asked him how he was feeling, his condition, and of course the malaria that happened to him a while back. And he still seems to be hesitant when he talks about his health, because in his mind he could have a relapse at any moment. So he's taking each day as it comes, enjoying the World Championships, knows he's the favorite, but he's still not convinced that he has shaken that malaria bug.
Battling not only malaria but a liver ailment last year. Kipketer, born in Kenya, moved to Denmark in 1990 to further his studies. Actually had a lot of scholarship offers from U.S. colleges, but turned them down. It wasn't a Danish citizen yet by the Atlanta Olympics, so he didn't compete. Didn't want to run for Kenya and couldn't represent Denmark because he was not yet a Danish citizen. But he is the two-time defending world champion.
Well, that was a sad thing that happened, because he was by far the dominant 800-meter runner in the world, and yet the Olympics went on without him.
It'll be interesting to see how the tactics unfold here. I asked him also how he would handle this race, if he would take the lead and try to control the race or sit back and let others do it, and he had no answer. He said he'll have to wait to see how things unfold in the first 200 meters.
Well, you found out that he really doesn't like to talk strategy. He doesn't like to brag about what he does. He's just a very quiet guy who gives you a lot of politically correct answers. But as you said, he can win from the front or the back. He may, in his mind, know he's going to take it if the pace is slow, but he also can wait and see if someone else will do that work.
We mentioned the young Kenyan Kimutai. There is another Kenyan in this field in lane 8. He is the Kenyan national champion, as a matter of fact, and that's 26-year-old Kennedy Kimwetich.
Well, even though he's 26 years old, we might not know how good he can be, because he says he's only been racing for 1 year.
Race underway in the 800-meter final. They'll come around this first turn, and then they'll be able to break. And at the break, it's going to be Kimwetich, it looks like, that goes out.
And something to remember in World Championship and Olympic competition, there are no rabbits, and so these gentlemen are responsible for establishing their own pace.
Kimwetich ran a 45.25 at last year's Commonwealth Games, and suicidal pace, and he finished 8th. It looks like he might not have learned a lesson. He's going to try and run everybody off their feet.
Well, now Saeed Gerna has passed him to take the lead. Kimwetich second, Kipketer, and there goes Sepping. And Sepping now into second place behind the Algerian Saeed Guerne.
Well, it's a somewhat reasonable 50 seconds for the first lap. That's still plenty fast.
Kipketer now charges into third place. Saeed Guerne leads. Sepping is second. Kipketer is third. Then the two Kenyans, Kimutai and Kimwetich. After that, the Italian Longo.
The third 200 here, one of the most important phases of the 800-meter run. And now watch Wilson Kipketer moving up in striking distance.
Sepping has the lead, but Kipketer is gaining with every stride. Saeed Guerne now back into third. Here they come, top of the home straightaway. Sepping has the lead. Kipketer moving up on his outside. Sepping trying to hold on. Kipketer gaining with every stride. It's Sepping and Kipketer. Sepping and Kipketer goes by. Kipketer has the lead. Here they come in the final meters, and it's a lead. Kipketer and Sepping came back on him very close. Maybe on the outside, Kipketer was able to
And Wilson Kipketer is amazing. At the World Championship Finals, diving to the track, and he comes up with a smile. That is unbelievable.
Well, I think he knows he got pushed as hard as he's gotten pushed in his life. As you mentioned, Lewis, that third 200, they must have gone flying by the 600 because it looked like the last 50 yards were in slow motion. They were all so tired.
It looked like Kipketer had put Sepping away, and then Ezekiel Sepping came back on him. Here Sepping has the clear lead.
And Sepping knew that he'd have to take this thing out because Kipketer has great closing speed. Wilson trying to stay relaxed, pumping the arms. Sepping beginning to tie up, and they both lock up as they get to the finish line as Kipketer falls to the track.
Now it's a question of concentration and timing, not even so much strength or desire. They each know it's going to be so close. You have to know exactly when to start your lean. That's why there's those white lines on the track to judge the finish, and Kipketer just gets it.
Tight finish. Kipketer just out-leaning Sepping. Kipketer in 143.30, Sepping 143.32. And still to come, when we return to Seville, we'll see the women's 4x400 meter relay final.